Hi, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit car series, brought to you in partnership with Greenhous Shrewsbury. Today we're at Shrewsbury Prison. Not only does it have historical significance, it is a perfect tourist attraction to look good behind today's car. Me and this prison have a lot of history, but not how you may think. I used to work here as an actor a long time ago. Now there's only one person that's worthy of an interview on this episode, and that was the one that was crazy enough to acquire a closed prison all those years ago.
Right, today guys, if we're going to pretend like this is the first time we've done this and not the second.
So let's take one still.
I'm going to leave that in because this is Joel Campbell, the owner of Shrewsbury Prison, and this is the episode 1 of the Shrewsbury Biscuit car series brought to you by Greenhous Shrewsbury. And behind us is the beautiful 2024 Nissan Qashqai, which is absolutely beautiful. We'll go more into the car halfway through this. Joel, thank you so much for chatting to me today.
Yeah, no worries.
For the second time.
Yeah.
We did it yesterday and the audio corrupted, so we had to do it again.
I made so many good jokes about the car being behind bars, and you were like, it's criminally good, and like, you know, all those kind of things work so well for us.
Let me turn you up just a tiny bit.
You're turning me up or down?
Turning you up.
Normally people turn me down, but yeah, go on.
Just a bit of background for the listeners at home. I've done a bit of work at Shrewsbury Prison after Joel took hold of it. The scare mazes, prison break. I used to go make
You were a Father Christmas one year.
A bad Father Christmas, bad Santa. I mean, I think it was a role that was made just for me because
you call it bad, we called it dirty. But yeah, it was a dirty Father Christmas that year.
I had a whiskey stained or throw up stained t-shirt, and I just go around freaking people out, swilling whiskey. It was apple juice out of a bottle.
It was so funny because people were walking into this scene. It was the last scene before you came out of Twisted Fairy Tales. You saw Father Christmas before you went into the bar. So it was that kind of, that real last scene, and people walked in and they could hear the Christmas music and they were like, it's Father Christmas, and you'd stand up and appear, and you came out the shower, I think, and they were just like, oh no. It was just like, it was amazing though. It was great.
I'd come out the shower just in my trousers with a bottle of whiskey, like,
like a string vest, and like,
you want a present. And I think I remember the staff came through and just absolutely absolutely bewildered by it.
Yeah, I think I said to you, I've got a great photo, a selfie of us where I came through on the last run of the evening and the staff were just ruining us, and we came in and there you were, and you're like, right, time to really give it to these guys. So yeah, great times doing those events.
Absolutely. I've been gifted some many good roles here, and in fact I'm on the wall in the restaurant. I noticed that was the psychopathic butcher. Yeah. Another great role I did.
Psychopathic butcher.
It was just, I think there's an art to being able to get nose to nose with someone. Don't touch them. Nose to nose with someone and just stare at them in the face. Yeah. If you can do that, I think you're a good scare actor.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's that, and it's a lot of improv and a lot of reacting to what the audience is doing. And I mean, I guess what a bizarre way to start an interview about the prison, because normally when people start, it's like, how did you buy it? Like, what heritage tours do you do? But we start off straight into the scare stuff. And
absolutely.
Really cool.
Well, let's go into it. Let's go into it. The prison closed in 2013.
Did, yeah, 2013.
And you acquired it of sorts from 2015.
Yeah. So basically, the long and the short of it is, I'd come up with the idea back in 2009 that I thought it'd be really cool if you could get prisoners out of a prison. It would make a really cool tourist attraction. It's super interesting, really informative. So we've got the vans. I'll cover out why there's beeping in the background.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would make a really good tourist attraction, which it absolutely does. Came up with the idea in 2009 when the MOJ closed 7 prisons, put them up for sale in 2013, tried to buy one. And yeah, kind of ended up at Shrewsbury Prison. Wasn't fortunate in buying one, unfortunately. And yeah, ended up at Shrewsbury Prison under a lease, basically from the developer that owned it, which we sat under until 2022. 2022, and then we bought it. Yeah,
I love the story of you rocking up here with like a tenner in your pocket, not where to stay. We talk about this, and I think it's a really good story because it shows how far you've come, and you actually lived in the prison for a bit, right?
Yeah, I stayed. Yeah, so basically my first company, which was a spectacular failure. It was a success, but a spectacular failure in many
education.
ways. Yeah, an education. And it basically, when it collapsed, it left me with £83,000 worth of debt. So I had
So less than £10 in your pocket.
Yeah, £83,000 worth of debt. I think I had £1.57 in my bank account. I remember that because it was a chapter in my book. It was £1.57 in my bank account, and I knew there was the potential to take over Shrewsbury Prison. The owner said, come on up, I'm up here on this certain date, come on up, have a look around, we'll chat about it and see if we can make something work. And I had to borrow £10 from my dad to put petrol in my car to drive up here. Drove up here, met with the owner, who was the owner then, and we had a conversation. He goes, so what do you think? I literally wandered around for like an hour by myself and met up with him. He said, what do you think? And I went, yeah, it's great. I'd love to take it. I'll take it. And he went, cool, crack on. And then literally, I think 2 weeks later, I was back up here. And this was so bizarre because they went, you're going to meet our custodian, the key holder basically. Go up there on a Tuesday, need to be there at 12 o'clock. He'll give you a set of keys and you crack on. So I was like, all right, this kind of seems really weird, but all right. So I came up here on Tuesday, met this guy outside. He went, are you Joel? And I went, yep. And he went, here's a set of keys. You know your way around? And I said, well, I've been here once. And he went, okay, well, there's the keys. That one does the front door, and that's pretty much all you need to know. I'm off on holiday for 2 weeks. I'll see you when I get back. And I was like, what? And that was it. I was left in a prison. And and I was just left with the keys to a prison, and off I went, basically.
What did the prison look like back then as opposed to what it looks like now?
It was just an empty shell of a building. It had been closed for about a year and a half. It was warm because it was summer, but it was a bit dank because it had just been left lifeless. Nobody was in it, so nobody had been moving around it.
Was it still like
months.
a prison smell to it? Like, because it's been closed for 2 years.
I mean, I've never been into. Well, I have been into a real prison.
Well, that's what
once.
they say. You go to prison, you never forget the smell. I mean, that's what I've heard.
I think the officers would say it doesn't smell like it did when you had 350 guys living in it, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah.
But it certainly still felt like a prison. It was certainly scary, and I think that's what you're alluding to. I lived here because I had no money. I couldn't afford to pay for my house where I was living in Somerset at the time, and the rent for this place. Oh, hold on! I don't know what they're doing. There's a machine coming.
There is a machine coming.
So I couldn't afford to pay for the rent and everything like that, and I couldn't afford to stay anywhere. I couldn't afford a hotel room or anything like that. So I just lived in the prison for a month. So for the first month, until I actually started making a little bit of money, and I could afford to rent a house here, I lived in the prison.
And I think that's really important because this is now one of the best attractions in the UK. It won awards for it.
Yeah.
And it's gone from that to that. Do you know what I mean? And that's the journey. And that's why it's important to talk about this.
I remember day one, it was just so ridiculous. Now, we do talk about this on occasion, which is we have to sit inside the car to do this. We don't get wet.
Yeah.
I remember on day one when we first opened, we didn't have any credit card machine. We didn't have a phone. We had a online booking system, and we had to do a printout basically of the names and literally went through them with a pen to go, right, you're there, supposed to this. And people turned up with to pay, and we could only take cash. And we literally had a red cash tin, and that was it. And that was all we did. And I can remember just back in the day, it was just so basic and so, I guess, simple, but it was just so basic. And that was in 2015, and here we were with no credit card machine, no phones, and a red cash tin.
It is an incredible place, and I bet you've walked past this place a million times and never even thought about coming in here. Do you get that a lot?
We do, and that's I'm going to use that as a plug. Actually, that's led me on to it very nicely. Is that one of the things that we find quite regularly, and certainly I think every attraction finds it, is if you live locally, you never do what's on your doorstep. Because it's on your doorstep, you naturally go further afield and go, that's all right, I'll do that another time.
Yeah,
I'll do that another time. And coincidentally, it's raining now, so I think that's a great time. I mean, you can visit the prison at any time. Obviously, it's brilliant in the sunshine as well. But because it's an indoor attraction predominantly, if it's raining, it's a great opportunity to come and visit. And again, I've just been chatting to the team. We were just talking about when we first started, the only thing you could do here was a guided tour. That was the only product we offered. And now you can come here, you can turn up in the morning, you can go on a guided tour at 10:30, you can then go into the restaurant and have lunch afterwards. Then in the afternoon you can go and do an escape room, or you can go do a different activity, and then you can wander around by yourself and actually investigate it more. And if you wanted to, you can come back in the evening and do a ghost tour or a paranormal investigation and hunt ghosts and such like that. Or you can come on a weekend and actually try and break out of the prison with 60 other people. So there's
which I used to.
That was so much fun. And we're just rebuilding a brand new one as well, which looks epic. So you've got so many different things that you can do, all in this one area, and that's actually only. It's gonna link me in nicely. That's only about just under 2/3 of the site is actually the prison complex as people would see it, which is the heritage side, the listed side, all the wings, the custodial elements, all the prison cells and stuff like that. The rest of the site, which is behind it, which is all the more modern buildings like a sports hall, workshops, education facilities, we're actually about to knock them all down. None of those are listed, none of them are heritage
And this is a great
buildings.
point because there's lots of rumours on social media at the moment.
They're all the new buildings, no listings on any of that at all. So they will get knocked down at some point early 2025, and they will get replaced with a new restaurant, a new hotel, new conference facilities, which will blend very nicely with the old buildings, will blend really nicely the modern and the old, and we'll bring that in, and that will just really open up again the things that you can do at the prison, or at Shrewsbury Prison.
This is the 2024 Nissan Qashqai Tekna Plus with e-Power. This car has a range of gadgetry along with a powerful yet sophisticated engine, boasting seat warmers, a stunning HUD display, 20-inch alloys, premium leather upholstery, an easy-to-use charger plate for your phone, rear view cameras and sensors, and even front seats that massage you as you drive. That's of course just a taster of what this car has to offer. I love the new front grille, which I'm told is designed to look just like the chainmail of a samurai. Whether you're going for a drive in nature or whether you're out and about in the town or the city, you're going to look flash in this car. I was lucky enough to spend a week getting to know this car, but I also met up with videographer Martin, who we did some filming together in Shrewsbury and in Carden Mill Valley. Getting to know this car was a real pleasure, but getting to watch Martin do his thing was really educational too. He's great at what he does. His work was so great, they made an advert and featured me in it. Look how amazing this looks. I pinched this off Greenhous. I don't think they'll mind, but make sure you go to their social media to check it out properly. The 2024 Nissan Qashqai Tekna Plus with e-Power, the perfect car, whatever the setting.
We've got people walking around now. You've got, I think, a prison escape coming on here, walking past. You've got a school walking around there. Yesterday, you were talking to a dog owner about, the dogs walking around. I mean, what do you enjoy the most?
I think talking about it.
Quiet down, convicts. You're here for a reason, all right?
They're off to break all the stone now. The machines have just taken out for us. So, I think being able to. What do I enjoy the most? There's so many different aspects. I love being able to talk about what we do, and I love being able to reflect on what we do. And I really enjoy with the educational visits. So we've just seen a couple of educational visits go past. You can see that they're learning about prisons, about prison life, about custodial sentences, about crime, about punishment, about how prisons are a reflection of society. And they learn all about these things, and they get to actually tour around it. So they have some fun. They go into cells. They get to kind of get all of that out of the system, but they also learn about crime, about punishment, and about the effects that crime has on a wider society. And you can see the penny drop for a lot of these students. I think that's really powerful, because you can't teach that type of program anywhere else apart from here or in one of our other prisons.
It's when Graham talks about the overcrowding here, that's what gets me. Like, the 4 people to one of those cells. Yeah. And not just for like a weekend or a week, like you're talking for years. There's 4 people stranded.
6 by 10. Yeah, and certainly they were 3ing up at one point, and it was cramped. And you can see that here. We've got cells which we've reset up with three beds in, so you can see how cramped and tight it would have been. I think from the educational perspective, it is literally about educating the next generation, but educating them through immersive experiences. So they're not in a classroom reading it from books and seeing it on videos. They're in it, living, breathing, experiencing it. And the way we run our educational programs is there is a section of the educational programs where the students get to wander around the prison in groups, or effectively by themselves. They're still monitored and looked after, but they get to wander around, so they can see and experience it in a slightly different way than you would with a teacher or with a tour guide. Just so much stuff happens.
The spooky stuff as well, the ghosts.
The ghosts, the ghosts are real.
Ghost tours.
In that sense, ghost tours we do, paranormal investigations we do, but I think between our 2 prisons, Shepton Mallet Prison in Somerset, which is our other prison, it's the most haunted prison in the world. It is just out of this world in terms of ghosts and paranormal activity. This place is pretty much the second most haunted prison in the world, and again, so many things happen. I can see just the window up there. I don't think you can see it from here, but there's a window up there, and I have honest to God, but honestly, I've seen the top window up there. I've come out here in the morning in the courtyard, and the sun shines up there, and it comes down, and I've seen shadows walking past, knowing I'm the only person in the site and in the building.
See, I'm a skeptic, but there have been a couple of times when this place has freaked me out. We were doing
I'm the same in that sense. Yeah, it's a skeptic, but there's a few times where it's just been like, how do I explain?
Do you remember?
Just
I don't know. I think you were there. I think you were part of the prison break. But we were doing a prison break in C Wing. And I heard someone run up the stairs, C Wing, turn right towards A Wing, and I heard them go up the green steps, the spiral stairs. And I broke character. I went up. I was like, "You're not supposed to be up there. You're not supposed to be up there." And I walked up and I checked they're all locked. And I was like,
"No one there."
I came down and I was like, "There's definitely somebody run up those stairs." It's happened. And I don't believe really in ghosts, but that definitely happened. So
I
that's
catch
weird.
things all the time out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, someone just go into that cell, and I saw it. I can remember seeing my very first ghost in terms of seeing what was kind of first entity, because I'm like, I'm kind of quite skeptical, but I absolutely brick it when I'm here at 2 a.m. by myself and I'm wandering around. I know it's all locked up, and I'm like, I'm still super scared.
Wow.
Become more school children.
Lots of school children, and this is the thing. It's a bustling site. It's so busy all the time. Was it always like that? Has it taken a while to get momentum as a tourist attraction?
It's had its peaks and troughs. When we very first opened, obviously it was really busy, and we were only expected to be here for a year. So everyone was like, right, we're going to get it in the first few months and get it in and get it done, and that was fine. And then it quietened down, and then because I didn't really know anything about running a tourist attraction. I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I didn't know about running a tourist attraction.
It's a prison. Go and have a look.
I didn't know about running a tourist attraction. So I didn't realise when I first started this that there was peak seasons and off-peak seasons. So I'd worked in gyms previously and other industries. So I found out in the first winter there's an off-peak season for tourist attractions. It got very, very quiet. It got very, very cold.
Yeah, where is everyone?
Exactly that. Yeah, very, very quiet, very, very cold. And what ended up happening was I had to kind of really adapt this business model to think further than just consumers and just visitors coming through the door and going, well, actually, people don't go to tourist attractions as much in the winter months. It's cold, it's dark earlier, it's raining, it's miserable. So what do we need to do to make sure that we have an additional visitor number and therefore an additional income, which is where the idea of going, we should think about corporate team building. We should really expand our educational profiles. We should really think about groups. We should really think about other uses that we can have
in the prison. As well.
Yeah, productions. Anything else we can put into this building that works, that's sensitive enough, that works with the building, that doesn't damage it or take away from the brand or take away everything we're trying to do in a sort of a larger scale vision. And that's kind of how it all sort of built, really.
I would encourage anybody that's watching this to nip on over into Shrewsbury Prison and take a look. And where can people sort of find out about what's going on, what's new, and obviously the hotel's coming up soon, and keep an eye on all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So the website's obviously going to be the main place, shrewsburyprison.com. So from there you can see everything we do. You can buy tickets. You can ask us questions. You can find all the information you need to about the prison, or any of our social media channels, Shrewsbury Prison or Shrewsbury Prison, depending on how you say it. I should get that one right. Throw it both ways, so therefore people are happy. They do it through those channels, or just pop in and visit. We always recommend booking, because then you're not disappointed if you turn up and everything's fully booked. But absolutely,
get on a guided tour. It's worth paying a few extra quid. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend it.
The tour guides are out of this world.
Yeah, brilliant.
Speaking of out of this world, we've got a planetarium coming.
There's a planetarium coming as well. Yeah, we spoke about this yesterday. There's a planetarium coming.
Yeah, so it's basically a giant inflatable dome. And you go into it, and there's beanbags and cushions and everything. You lie down, and it goes very, very dark, and you look up, and then the whole interior of the dome then basically plays different videos of different experiences. There's an experience where you take off and you go into space and you travel to Mars, and you learn all about the atmosphere and the stars and the Big Bang and how it all began. And then we've got another video which is a bit more action-based, which is about dinosaurs, and you go through prehistoric world and learn all about that kind of stuff. So those run for a couple of weeks throughout the summer holidays. So that will run. So that's really popular. So definitely get tickets for that. And it's only, says confidently, it's only £5.
Cheap.
So it's very, very low cost, so very accessible. And we're also running Sen videos at the same time. So we'll run a Sen session specifically for that group.
Brilliant. So much going on here, guys. I really do recommend it. Joel, thank you so much for doing this again today. Hopefully the video works, because if not, then that's tough luck, isn't it? Right. But thank you so much for having me on.
No, it's so. Thank you for bringing a nice car down.
So that is the end of our first episode of the car series in partnership with Greenhous in Shrewsbury. Thank you so much to Greenhous. Thank you so much to Joel at the prison. And thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you catch us next time. Peace out.